Welcome everyone, this is your host Robert Roy. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would go ahead and type the number 1 in the questions box. 1 is always for yes, 2 for no. And if you type in 2, I know you're lying. Hey Roy, afternoon sir, how are you? Morning Lisa, or afternoon I should say. Depends on where you're at, right? Maybe morning for some. All right, very good. Looks like we're being heard all over the world, guys. We've got people in here from multiple countries, which is fantastic. Once again, pushing the envelope on the numbers a little bit, so I'll do my best to control the questions a little bit there, or the comments. All right, fantastic. So let me open that up there so I can see that. Beautiful. Let's go take care of our disclaimer. It basically says I'm not an advisor and cannot legally tell you to buy or sell a stock. That would just be against the law of the SEC, which the Securities and Exchange Commission, they require you to be licensed. I'm not, don't want to be. So if you find a candidate, indicator, set up something, anything you like here today, my suggestion is just paper trade it first before you ever put 1 penny of real money into the trade setup or indicator, and then and only then would you do so if it fits your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance. Now, keep something in mind. Because I am not an advisor, that means I am not under trading restrictions. That means that I may choose to enter or exit a trade at any given time without prior notice. Hey, Helen, how are you, dear? All right, so guys, coming up, Premium Workshop is tomorrow, actually, the 14th. Wow. On Monster Market Movers, I will have the new manual uploaded today. A couple hours it'll be up there. It's already done. I just need to tweak the last section and convert it to PDF and put it up on the website. And then Power Hour, of course, here every Monday at noon. And then tonight's E-Mini Think Tank. I'm always excited about that, guys. We do well in there. Mel has been tracking our trades in there for us, and she's got some phenomenal results of what we're doing in there. And then you got a couple of online and on-demand workshops that are available as well. And then here's the follow us page, so you guys can come and follow along and hang out with us and see what's going on. So let's go ahead. Let me take that down. Let's get rid of that. So one less resource. Shutting our monitor off. We don't need all 6 on. Beautiful. So guys, let's take a look first at the S&P 500. I did an update on my Trade Navigator just not long ago, well, 11 o'clock. So it's got about an hour's delay on it. Let me just start that again. And I got an email from a student of mine, who I would call a friend. His name is John, out of the Boston area. And he said, hey, I'm interested in that Trade Navigator program again. Now, John's already got Trade Navigator, guys. So here's the thing. If you have Trade Navigator, whether it was called Extreme Charts or not, you already own it. If you deactivated it by not updating your data, paying for the data, guys, just send an email to support@wealthbuildershq.com, and we will help you get it started. You don't have to buy the software again. You own it. It's just a matter of reactivating your data once again, all right? So we can help you get that going. But I get the question of, why do you have 2 different programs? Why not just do it all on TradeStation? Guys, the ease of what I can do as far as scanning and filtering on this program versus trying to do it on a TradeStation. TradeStation is a little more complex for me to scan and filter on. It's a lot easier on here for me to do. So I use both programs, not to mention the charting engine on this is so much crisper than anything that I've ever seen. It's just a better view of what's out there. All right, so let's go over to template number 2. Okay. So guys, here we are with the S&P 500 right now. And I'm going to give us a nice big zoom in on it. And you can see that we've had, maybe one less, we've had this nice run where we've got the fibs drawn on there, good pullback to the 236. We've got a pivot in place at the midpoints. We pushed up through the 0 line all the way up to the negative 136, our next pivot, which had a confluence of the 2600 level on this. And now it's pulled back. It broke the 8. 1, 2, 3 days now, guys, we're down below that level. It's a little concerning with the amount of time we're spending down there. And especially when you look at today, if we look intraday at the market today, well, I've got the SPY here. Let's see. Let me grab the S&P 500. and we'll just go for a 5-minute chart. If you look at the 5-minute chart, we had a big gap down, key level of support where we gapped to, by the way. Wasn't surprising to see that move down there. We pushed back up right up to this resistance. Wasn't surprising to see it push back up there. We've just now broken above. So guys, we need to get back above and close and stay above the ADMA, which is right now 2584.09, 0.09. So call it 2584. As long as we can get above there, guys, that's a comfort zone for the market to start feeling good again. If we keep staying down here below the moving averages, the market is just not very excited about where it's at right now. It's got to come back above. I would look at this pattern or this bias, and I rate my moving averages based on bias for a particular chart. This would have what I would call a bullish neutral. Bullish, still an upward pattern, it's still above the 21. Neutral, it's down below the 8. It's down below the 8. So until we can get back above the 8 and the 21, which we are now above 21, but above the 8 as well, until we can get above that 8, I am not excited about the pattern that I see here for taking a directional trade that I'm willing to hold overnight. Now, directional trade that I'm going to get out of it today, sure, why not? I've done 4 of them already today. Not a big deal. I don't really care about the direction of the S&P. But overall, if you just tend to trade in the direction of the S&P, you will have, 70 to 80% of all stocks tend to move with the S&P 500. We've had a couple of days of craziness. We did not close below the 21, so I'm okay with that. But I definitely would like to see it get back above that 8 on a close. Morning, Robert. Let's see. Erica said, I deactivated my account. It needed again. Thanks. We'll send an email. Yeah, Erica, just send an email to support at Wealth Builders HQ. And if I can find my mouse. I'll type it in for you guys. Send an email to support at Wealth Builders HQ. I dropped it into the text chat, not the questions, and the text chat, which is on your toolbar, usually on the right side of your screen. I dropped it in there, and if you guys just send an email there, Mel will get you taken care of as far as what you need to do to activate it. If you want to have the Wealth Builders HQ version of the charts, which has additional indicators in it that are not available in what might be your existing version, she can help you with that as well. Fantastic. All right, good. So guys, let's go ahead and I want to just take a quick look at the market a little bit. Let's go scan real fast and see, just based on what our net change is, where we're at, and if we've got anything that's big movers up or down. Let's see. Amazon, we've got a $12 move to the upside today. I am really wanting Apple to have that $12 move. I need Apple to go up a little bit more than it is. But if we look at Amazon's chart, guys, their intraday move has been fantastic. They reacted the same way the S&P did, gap down this morning, right? Look where they gapped to. Look back 3 days ago, all the way over here, guys. Look at right here. Right in that congestion area. And if I snap a line off of there, you can see Amazon pulled right back to a key level. So once again, not surprising. We had gapped down there as well and recovered off it. Not a full recovery, but this wound up being a great move on Amazon there. So you got some nice movers, but again, Amazon, guys, Amazon is not an inexpensive stock, right? Just pull this over. Let me go back here. Let's see. Let me go one more time to Amazon. I don't know why it didn't go over on option chain. There we go. Okay. So guys, if you're doing an option that expires this week and you're looking at a bullish position, you're looking at an 80, I don't know why it's Costco, it should be Amazon. So we look at Amazon, we find an option that's expiring this week. We're looking for about that 65 to 85 delta. Guys, I've got a 64 delta, and it's going to cost me about 14 bucks to enter into the trade. All right, so it's not an inexpensive option. If you're looking at, well, I'm going to go buy a December monthly option. Actually, that's a quarterly. Let's see. So December 15th would be the monthly option. So about a month away from where we are now, same 66 delta, you're looking at $45, 45 in jingle. Okay, so it's not an inexpensive option. I do day trade it a lot. If you're looking to do longer term trades on it, it is a little bit more on the expensive side. Just something to keep in mind. Okay, awesome. So guys, give me some symbols that you want to take a look at, questions that you guys have. Drop them in the text chat. I will be glad to handle those for you. Starting off with, okay, so Paula put in Apple. Let's go over to Trade Navigator. And guys, you can activate intraday data on Trade Navigator as well if you choose. You can subscribe to that instead of subscribing it to it on a TradeStation or another company. It is available, right? Now on TradeStation, I pay for every exchange that I have data on. On my Tasty account, I do not pay for the data. On my Thinkorswim account, I do not pay for the data. All right, so if you guys go to the Resources tab, I'm just going to open another tab up for it. If you guys go to the Resources tab that we put there, right, Tastyworks, there's a link there to Tastyworks. Guys, very inexpensive on their commissions, right? So here, $1 per contract, options, opening trade only. You do not pay on the exit of the trade. So there is no commission for closing the trade out. You pay $1 for entering the trade, right? You see here, 0 commissions for all closing trades. All right, guys. Can you guys hear me? Just drop a 1 in the questions box. All right, thank you, Erica. It's just TradeStation. I mean, go to webinar. Let me just let TradeStation start back up. So, $5 on stock, unlimited items, right? $2.50 on futures, right? But I think futures you're paying on both sides. I think this all closing trades is the options and stock. I don't believe it's futures as well, but I could be wrong. All right, so it's fairly inexpensive, guys, for their positions there. Let me just see something here. All right, so we're connected back to the data. Excuse me. So let's go back in and take a look then at Apple, right, which Paula was asking about. Paula, big fan of it. I love the pattern Apple has had. I redrew some fibs on it this weekend. Good pullback on Apple. Let's see, 71 to 76. So we're about $5 of price movement in there. We've got a fib at 5.5, so I don't need to split my level in there, so that's good. I'm perfect with where I need to be. Hey, Rick, glad you made it, bud. But guys, if we did split, just as an FYI, if we were splitting this for a fibit, not that there's really any importance with this line, right? I mean, we've only come to it 1, 2, 3 times, including today, right? Good bounce off of it today. So, Paula, I'm looking at, Apple may not make it back to the moving average if we get this continuation bounce that's taking place, but I would have loved to have seen the move back to about 173 before it starts to recover. I'd be a little bit more cautious on taking this trade without a recovery to the 8, at least for a full portion of the trade. Again, we don't need a fibit in there, but if we look again at that fibit, all we basically do is split that level in half, right? That 173.74, as far as I'm concerned, that was enough of a reason to take the trade, a bullish trade potentially, just not a full lot. So if you would normally trade 10, as an example, I would normally trade 10, I would only buy 4 there. That's my higher risk entry, is with a smaller number of contracts. 4 is my higher risk number of contracts that I am willing to trade. All right, let me just make this a little bit narrower. Don't need that open. Perfect. Okay. If it does continue up, then Paula, 176 and a quarter. Let's see, 76 to 82 for $6. Okay, we do need to split the upper one though, so we need to add the negative 136. Let me go find that. So Paula, first target on the upside, we're looking at 179 and then 182 are our 2 upside targets. Okay. All right. Hopefully that was helpful there, Paula. Let's see. Joseph was asking about AMAT. You're welcome, Paula. All right. So applied materials, Joseph. You know, you can see the Fibonacci that's drawn on there is fairly recent. Let's see. I don't think I need to have a Fibon in there. 242, 4056. Well, actually, we do. We do. We need to split this level in here. So if we edit this line, we're going to add both levels, the negative 136 and the 118. All right. So you can see we've been in what I would call a Fibonacci channel inside of there, right? So we're channeling between 55.5 and 56.75, right? Nice little move, not big, but nice little move. The moving average, the 8, we're pinned between that and the upper price level right now, which is the 0 line, 56.73. We need to close above it, but guys, here's the thing: if we scrunch down, folks, and look, we've been above here. Let me try going back less time. Okay, let me do this first. So you can see we pushed above on this day. We gapped up, but we closed below. We pushed up on the wick, closed below. We pushed up here and closed above. Great head fake, and we failed, right? Quick gap down and a good continuation down, but everything did on Thursday, on Wednesday, Thursday, right? Thursday, Friday, this should be today, which is Monday the 13th. So everything did. Pull back in there. Guys, we need to close above. So Joseph, I'd want to see a close above the one we had on this day, which was at 56.92, right? That would give me some comfort to enter into the trade. If we did, that would take me up to 58.25 and 59.75, and my stop would be somewhere down below my 8 EMA, which at that point should be at a confluence, meaning the 8 moving average and the 56.73 line should be fairly close to each other at that point for me to take that trade. Right? Okay, so no, Patty, I didn't say that I don't like the Tasty Trade charts. I just like Trade Navigator's chart better than everybody else. By the way, Joseph, I hope that was helpful for you on AMAT. I like the Trade Navigator chart better than any chart from any broker, period. And not just the charting program, but the chart itself. Just the ease of the chart on my eye. I could turn TradeStation, I can turn Thinkorswim into a white background chart. It just doesn't have the crispness that we have here on a Trade Navigator. I am a big fan of Tastyworks. I think they have done a good job pricing-wise. Futures, I think they're still a little bit high on futures because that $250 per contract doesn't include the exchange fees, which is another $1 and change each. It comes out to be, when they told me over the phone, about $5.50 round trip for a futures trade. Now, the futures are brand new for them. That may change very quickly. The nice thing is you have one account with them and you can trade everything out of one account. That's the feature that I like the best. Someone was asking about Canadians. I saw that in there somewhere. Patty, you're welcome. Okay, so Paula was asking, is it available to, thank you, Paula. Yeah, I went back and I saw it, but is that available to Canadians? You know, I haven't asked him that, Paula, and that's a great question. Kind of why I put the Trade Pro, which I think the guy from Trade Pro is a phenomenal resource, guys. I think it's worth you putting money in an account just to have access to somebody like Trey, who is a professional trader and can spin circles around most traders out there when it comes to futures. So when you're calling and asking a question about the futures markets, he knows the answer because he trades them, right? I think he's a great feather in your cap to have as a resource and a team member. Yeah, Paula said, I am with Trey. He's great. He really is. I talk to him once every week or two. He helps me with some stuff. We're going to make an addition. We're going to start adding futures to Covered Call Explorer. We're going to be doing diagonals on futures contracts as well as what we do on our stock contracts. And Trey and I have been talking about that. He's been prodding me for quite a while to start incorporating it into what we do. So Lisa, Trey is with Trade Pro Futures. So again, on our resources page, Trade Pro Futures, that will take you right over to their page for wealth builders, right? And then you can open a Canadian account, or you can open for every other. Notice, guys, all other countries. I'm not used to U.S. being part of all other countries. It actually becomes, you can open an account unless you're in Canada and you have to open a separate account. And Canadian officials, authorities are just very tough regulators on what they allow in there. Okay. Trade Navigator Helen does have intraday charts. So I can turn mine on right here. I just click that little stoplight. I have it turned off right now. It's now green. I can turn this into a 1-minute chart on Applied Materials. I've got to hit escape. Okay. So it's now a real-time chart running in 1 minute, right? I could turn it into a tick chart. I think it has tick. Let's see. But it's got custom right there. So number of trade ticks. Okay, so I'm going to put it at an 89 tick. Okay, so I do not want to download that full data there. All right, so I'm just going to put it back to a 3-minute chart. All right, so it does have, you can see it's moving now, so it does have the intraday. I'm going to shut it off only because right here with being online, it is brutal what the resources of having 2 intraday chart programs run at the same time with GoToWebinar, which is the only reason I don't run like a Tasty Trade or something, a Thinkorswim or something at the same time. All right, let me go back and get some more of them. So Adobe, Nick was asking for Adobe. The first 3 were all with the letter A's, and the 4th one is the letter B. Go figure. Adobe. All right, so guys, Adobe is one that's on my list for Monster Market Movers as a stock that is trending up. It is right at a support level. I love it. The entry is there, guys. We had a confluence of the 8 and our, actually that trend line probably needs to be a little bit higher. There we go. So the gap down, move up. I need to get a little bit higher, but the confluence were right there with the 8 and the upper trend line, the support line. Right, it looks like we've got to move, let's see, we'll scrunch down a little bit to make it easier to see. If we go out about 2 or 3 bars, which is all it tends to take, 1, 2, 3. So we're looking like a move up to about 189, and right now we're at 182. So if we went up to, say, 187 as our target, we've got a $7 upside potential to it. I would set my stop somewhere down below this low wick that we have in here, which is right in there, 179.03, I think it says. Yeah, right about 179.03. Right below there is where I would set it for. Guys, it's funny that I'm getting, we're 25 minutes after the hour and we're still getting people registering for this class. Some may be having a problem actually getting in now. So that's where we're at, Nick, on Adobe. And then Sandra was asking for Baidu. Love Baidu. Great trading company. Excuse me. Baidu is. Let's see. All right. So, guys, you can see we took the gap down on their earnings, right? And earnings markers do tend to go away. So if you like the stock, I suggest that you mark it somehow with where the earnings date was. So you can always go back and look at that and use for later purposes. So you can see where we gap down. Good strong move up, guys. In our power option plays, we actually took the trade off of there on this day, which would have put us in at the open at about 246, and right now we're at 238, right? But we already, let me do this. So if $246, let me see. We can do it up a little higher. Actually, let me use this. Stick out a little bit better. 246. I can tell you right now that our first target would have been right here at 2183. Our second target would have been right here at 236, and our third target was right here at 232, right? So based on those three targets, right, we have one contract left on this position right now, so it doesn't matter. We're playing with the house's money. My stop is above the 5 EMA on a close. So, you know, we get in about that 246 level. We get out at 242.5. We get out at 237.5. We get out at 233, right? From 246. Guys, it's been a great run on a Baidu, right? But a pretty standard setup in there. We were in a bullish neutral bias. So if you are looking at that, maybe you took less contracts. We did 4 contracts, right? So we did 1, 1, 1 was our exit with 1 contract left. Yeah, this, as I'm looking at my book, we did 4, not 10 on this one. All right, but overall good position, good setup. So Sandra, back to you, or you bringing this one up. It's got a good recovery today. I don't feel confident in taking anything that's overnight on this yet because I am not at a clear and concise entry. I do not have a good, clear point that says get in right here or get out right here. So at this point, I wanted to move back up to about that 242 level because I've got a fib line in there, 241.83. I've got the 80 EMA there, and I've got the 55 EMA there also. If I can move back up into that level, close near it, and fail, now we're ready for our next test of taking another trade here on this position. But without that happening, it's a tough call for me to say, let me go ahead and get in to it right now. If it does roll up to the 242 area, 236, 232, 227, 28 are going to be at 3 targets. If it moves up, somewhere up above that 241.83 is going to be your resistance, you know, your exit, your stop in that trade. All right, so Sandra, I hope that was helpful. Avery's asking, Rob, what is the max you do with an option spread on any stock? 15 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, or more or less? All right, so Avery, if I'm dealing with a Google or a Priceline, you would never trade those without a bigger spread than that. So if we go, and keep in mind, we're in the lull, right, of the day. It's 12:30 right now. If we look at Priceline, it's thinking. Okay. We look at Priceline, we'll go out to the December option. Let's say you're willing to hold it overnight. on this. It's not an intraday move, right? So we look at delta. Let's go find about that 65 delta. I've got 56.10 by 59.20. There's a $3 bid-ask spread on this. Now, if we look at the front week, same thing. Let's go find there's a 64 delta. It's 21 by 25. So it's a $4 bid-ask spread. So you can't get away with trading the big guns on that number. And I never looked at a number and said, this is the maximum I will ever pay on it, Avery. To me, it's always been predicated on the move, on the stock, on who they are, my opinion of that company. In other words, I'll take a little more risk on, but there has to be a purpose for it. Generally, if I see a spread, so let's go ahead and let's tone it down, Avery, to a diagonal as an example, what I do in Covered Call Explorer. If I see a spread that's more than 50 cents, I can negotiate. But always remember, if you have to negotiate on the way in, you're going to negotiate on the way out too. They may give it to you on the way in and not give it to you on the way out because they know it's a sell to close or buy to close. They know it when you're placing the trade. So you may have to dance with the devil a little bit if you're trying to adjust a bigger spread. So if you're not an price line or Google trader, 50, 80 cents is probably the norm of what I would be willing to accept on a directional trade. That's not a big gun, right? The Amazons and the Googles and so forth. On an Apple, I mean, I'm not really willing to pay more than 20 cents on an Apple. And I just, it's such a consistent moving company, 20, maybe 30, right? Again, we're in lull, right? So let's see what it is right now. So here we are at Apple. We've got a 69 delta, 261 by 262. Right? So, I mean, it's close. Paul, I'm going to make a phone call to Tasty Trade and ask them about Canadian and see what they say. Let's see. So Erica said, quick question. So should I pay for the data feed with Trade Navigator? I recall you mentioning a while back it wasn't accurate. Well, okay. Not that the data isn't accurate, Erica. What I want you to always be concerned with is the accuracy of things like earnings. Because remember, Trade Navigator is going to reach out to a service that they have available to them, and they're going to subscribe to earnings. Right? It's where that E is on the bottom of the screen there. They're going to subscribe to the earnings. If Baidu changes its earnings date, well, then earnings changed. And there is no update from Baidu. The date is different, but that's not what Trade Navigator shows. So that's what I was referring to. Their chart itself is good. Erica, what happens is you'll get an update, at 20 minutes after 4-ish Eastern time, you already have enough data that you can get an end-of-day data update. But Trade Navigator, about 7 p.m., they go in and they clean up the data. And why do they clean it up? Well, they're still relying on exchanges and so forth to feed them data. So if there's a bad tick somewhere and you get this huge gap up or down, they clean all of that up, and they do that after 7 o'clock at night. Rephrase that. They do that up until 7 o'clock at night. So for you, when you do the download, you can download what would be called clean data. It's already been fixed and checked at that point. All right, let's see. Sorry, Nick, I don't know what it was in reference to when you said their ed is contrarian. Let's see. I answered that one. Yeah, Rick, it was, and it's back. I mean, the earnings are up there, but for a while they weren't. Again, if they're giving data and it's just not accurate for them, it wasn't worth it. I've tried to get them to keep the earnings dates up there historically so we can not have to mark up the chart. Actually, I'm going to write a note because I need to call them today on something else. So let me see earnings. stay on trade nav. Yeah, I'm working on a bio for them and a photo, which I just had. I did a photo shoot over the weekend with some new pictures finally. So I've got to send it to them. They're going to get it listed on their website with a link back to WBHQ. So let's see. All right, so Avery's asking if we could look at Microsoft. Sure can, Avery. All right, so on Microsoft, guys, good strong run up, a pullback right to the 236, which is almost always indicative of this is a good place to draw the fibs. So that's the first thing. Number one, we draw from the swing low to the swing high, right? That's one. Number two, if you got the pullback to the 236, it's almost a given that you're in the right place. And number three, when we look at it, hold on a second. What just happened there? Something just flashed on my screen. Anyway, so we got a nice move up, a good pullback to the 236. Right now, we're just kind of going sideways. Right? Nothing awesome happening there. Nothing great just yet. But I do like, Avery, that we're at the 8. I like that it pulled back to it. We're down a little bit today. Let me do another quick refresh intraday. You can see, even though I did it, oh, we actually lost time there. Lost the time. Sometimes it'll give us the timing of when the data is from. And I don't mean when you did the update, but what time the pricing is from. And I think we lost the date and time because we had turned on real-time data for a little bit. And that's just it. If I turn on real-time data and then turn it right back off, everything will already be adjusted in real time as well. But this is delayed right now by 20 minutes. So if I can get a bounce off of there, Avery, let's see, 83 to 86, $3. I've got 233. I need a fib it inside of here. So we're going to add the negative 136 and the 118. We need them both. Okay, go figure. Look right in there at that top, right? Interesting. So we had the pullback. Look for the bounce up, Avery. 84.5 is going to be your first stopping point. It's not going to give you a lot of profit, but I'd scale out of some of the trade there, and then 86.20 would be the next upside. And my stop would probably be down somewhere below the 83.07 level. Okay, hopefully that's helpful there, Avery. So Sandra said, for Baidu, why did you not redraw the fibs? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so why did I not redraw the fibs? So once we push up to the 618, right? And that was Sandra was asking, right? Yes, okay. So Sandra, once you push up to the 618, that's the time to start looking for a place to redraw fibs, right? We pulled back and got back into a normal range again on the gap down of the earnings. So once I saw this push up, there's no place to draw at that point. We pulled down a little bit, still no place to draw that was bigger than what we had here. So we're looking for the largest move closest to the right side of the chart. This move of 215 to 250 gave me 37 points, right? Let's see, if we did it from here, 273 down to 230, yeah, so that probably would give us about the same amount. Let me just see. But what I do with that, Sandra, is because of the earnings, I was waiting for earnings announcement before I would do anything. So we're looking at about $36 there. If I redrew the fibs in here, let's see what it comes to. I'm just going to pull it out just to make it easier to see. And I'm only doing this so I can get a distance in here. Yeah, so this is a greater distance. So it is a bigger move closest to the right side of the chart. So let's go ahead and back that off. So what had happened, though, was this. Sandra, when we had to move up, we're waiting for earnings before we redraw. There's no sense in redrawing since it's going to skew everything, and we want to work on the known, not off of the unknown yet. We got the gap down. We start to climb back up, and as we push right into this level, we already had taken our trade. So the fibs are going to stay where they are for now until we are exiting out of this trade. But yes, I would be drawing today from that high down to that low. So that would be the October 17th down to the October 30th low. Okay. So let me just see. So Helen, yes, Trade Navigator does have intraday charts if you subscribe to it. So their data without the intraday, without the options, which I think is the better way to take it, is whatever, $30, $35 a month. If you take it for the intraday, it's a little bit more money because now, and they're covering all the exchange fees, where with TradeStation, I have to pay all my exchange fees. So whatever exchange I want to look at, I pay the fee to TradeStation. So definitely gets a little more expensive on TradeStation side. Okay. Let's see, makes sense. So Avery, well, I appreciate it. Avery said he emailed Tasty Trade, and they want to go to Canada, but with the strict Canadian laws, it may take a while. And that's what we hear from everybody, Avery. If they're not there, the thought of going there is tough. So Lisa said, when you say big guns have higher bid-ask spreads and showed price line, isn't Apple considered a big gun? No, it's not, Lisa. Apple is very calm stock, probably one of the most calmest stocks of the world that you could ever trade. As far as consistency, huge, tremendous volume, tremendous open interest on them. Big guns would be the $1,000 stocks. Apple's 100 and change. All right, so let's see. Yeah, it's exactly, Robert. It's cheaper on Trade Navigator without the options data. Oh well, Rick, shoot me an email if you got some thoughts on what I should be talking to Glenn about with that. Let me know. Because I do have his ear, so. Robert said, I must be in the right place. My fibs match yours on Microsoft. That is awesome. All right, so Nick said Tesla. So Nick is saying a giant head and shoulders pattern. Let me go to template number 1. Let's see. I mean, there's a lot of double top patterns in there. It's a very ugly looking pattern. It's a very ugly pattern. But when we look at Tesla, actually, let's go over to template number 2 where I have my moving averages. Guys, this is where I work and live most of the time, is right on this chart right here. Tesla gap down on earnings, big move back up. Actually, wow, look at today's move, very strong. It's up 10.5 bucks today to the upside, right? So strong move today. After a nice gap down, and it gap right down to 300, it looks like on the open. Let's see. The open was $300.13. Perfect. So Nick said it moved like I showed in the last monster market moves. Well, good. Yeah, and you know, it's just, guys, again, the difference between you and I is just my experience. It's the time. There's a reason that you guys should all be coming to this week to Power Hour every single week. There's a reason that you guys are in Covered Call Explorer and E-Mini Think Tank and getting into the online classes, and should continue to subscribe to those types of things, because, guys, what it is my experience. That's the only way you're going to learn how to move forward. Guys, I'm working right now on this entire mentoring component of what I do here, and I've done it for years with students. I just want to do this in a different way where you'll have an opportunity to kind of work through the process maybe a little bit differently than you've done before. And and where I've wanted to have something already released, I won't do it until I have it done the exact way I think it needs to be, because I don't want to go back and tweak it again. In other words, once you learn it, I want you to learn it the right way from the start. I don't want to add anything to it, kind of the, oh yeah, maybe I should do that too. I'm trying to get every piece in there at one time. So by coming back here, guys, this is exactly what it's all about. It's just learning, you know, how to see through my eyes, right? How to do what it is that I do, right? Appreciate it, Marcus. Yeah, I knew what you meant. At least I guessed what you did. How about that? Let's see. So Helen, okay, so I answered that one there. I got my, Robert said I get my real-time data from TOS, no longer data charge for my data. Yeah, and there you go. So I said, guys, TOS, Tasty Trade, I mean, it's all free, the data. So TradeStation, I'm just engrossed in that program, guys. So I'm not willing to walk away yet. From it, but I'm all for it. You notice, guys, you'll notice on my resource page, the one thing I don't have here is TradeStation. Not that I don't want you to go there, because I just think there's benefit to what I'm showing you here with these, especially for those that are starting out with smaller accounts. And you know, to say you got to pay a fee for anything, I want to get you as cheap as possible, right? As far as data goes and commissions. Helen said, I used to subscribe to the Extreme Charts, which is our Trade Navigator. It looks like things have changed a lot. Yeah, there's definitely some nice benefits to it. And Helen, we've added, you know, from our standpoint, what I've done is, again, I've got a very, I won't even say very good, I have an excellent relationship with the guys over at Trade Navigator. And so if you go into Charting the Course, which is our charting software, I need to change that over. And you look at the Wealth Builders HQ charting program, that is our version of Trade Navigator. And we have some things on there that are not available without you subscribing to other components. This bonus section right in here, right? We give you this Trend Outlook plugin, which is a $250 plugin, and it's included for free, right? So, and this is kind of what it does. And I'm working on the video for this now as we speak, actually, a training video on it. So well worth it, Helen, to use them. Let's see. All right, Marcus, I would appreciate that. Thank you. So Andrew said, at what point do you turn from bearish to bullish on something like Tesla? Moving averages are going down. Okay, so for me, Andrew, everything about a company right here is about the moving averages. So this is actually going to be one of the training videos that I do inside of that mentoring type section I was talking about, is very in-depth on what I call bias of my moving averages. I have 5 different biases: bullish, bearish, neutral. 3 easy ones to understand, right? Neutral has another name. It's also known as I don't know-ish. It's kind of going up, it's kind of going down, it's kind of going sideways. I don't know where it's going to go. It's I don't know-ish, okay? This right here, Andrew, is a bearish neutral. It's bearish because the 8-period moving average is the lowest. It's bearish neutral because it's above the 8, below the 21. So at this point, Andrew, I am still bearish for intraday trades only on Tesla. I will not take an overnight trade at all on Tesla. I need a complete shift in moving averages for me to do so. Now, based on that, some of you are going to say, Rob, you're nuts. By the time it makes that shift, you missed out on a tremendous amount of profit. You're right. I'm nuts. No question. But you just may not fully understand my process. Where I take on average 300 trades a year off of the signals that my system gives me, I also miss 300 trades a year on the signals that are not good, or great maybe is a better word for it. So where I'll pass on those signals. But we still turn $100,000, $150,000 into $1 million+ of profit in a year's time utilize, and this is all non-funded, of course, but utilizing the exact trade setups that I do. So for me, Andrew, all of that said is I would not turn bullish on this until the 8-period moving average was the highest, the 21 is the middle, and the 55 is the lowest. Then and only then would I consider bullish overnight trades. Day trades, different story. I'll day trade the life out of this thing. Every single day I would day trade it. No problem. No question. You are welcome. Ricky, Power Options Plays is not available yet to you guys. I tried to roll it out, and I don't want to say slack, but I had one of my affiliates jump in and took every single one of them and paid me for all the seats that I had made available. He took every one, even though he hadn't sold any of them yet, because I had offered it at a little bit of a discount to get in, and he was going to sell them at the full retail price, which I'm fine with. I don't care. I'm getting paid for it. But, Ricky, if you haven't done so already, send an email to support@wealthbuildershq.com, the one that I dropped in the chat box there. And let me see. You can just put it back in again. And won't let me do that. Okay. Well, so, oh, it did. All right. So send an email there that you have an interest in it. And, guys, what's going to happen is when I do open it up, you're going to get an email, and the email is going to say, guys, we have a few seats open. If you're interested, you need to do it now. And you literally, we need to do it now, because I guarantee you within an hour of me sending that email out, they'll be gone. All right? So it just gets you on a list. Let's see. Let's see. Robert said, I still use Trade Navigator since November of 2005 when I first met you, Rob. Yeah, so Robert, you're using TOS for your real-time data. You're still paying for the end-of-day data. It's a great program. Guys, I will never, ever, ever give up on this program. The last company I was with, they were moving away from the program, and I said it publicly online, live class. Guys, I'll never stop using it. I don't care what the company does. This is my trading. It didn't matter what anybody does. If someone said you can't use it to teach in a workshop, that's fine. I'm still going to use it. There's no way I would stop. Robert said, love the program. Yeah, it is. It's a great program. I think crazy people stop using it because of somebody saying stuff like that. Now, guys, listen, can you get away with one? Maybe things are strapped a little bit and you just want to work with the free stuff for now? Yeah, you can. But, guys, I can speed up my time so quickly. What I do, guys, for Monster Market Movers, which is tomorrow night, and hopefully every one of you are enrolled in it already, but what I do for Monster Market Movers, guys, it takes me about 16 hours of time for me to work through that, right? And what I mean by that is that's finding the candidates for my Monster Market Movers. But really, if I was not using Trade Navigator, I could never get it done that fast. Never, ever, ever could I get it done that fast. It would take me 4 and 5 times that with the scannability of what I'd have to do. Guys, I did drop a link into the Monster Market Movers right there. Let's see. Helen said, I am looking for a platform, but I am Canadian. Well, Helen, you know, there's the other question is, Robert, or any of you, Rick, do you guys remember if Tradier was Canadian? I thought they were, and Tradier, Tradier, I think is the spelling of it, Helen. I'm pretty sure Tradier is a Canadian company, meaning they do have Canadian offices. If so, Trade Navigator with the real-time data will link to various other programs like Trade Nav to Tradier. So, yeah, and I don't even know, Robert, if they were from Canada. I thought they did Canadian accounts. Let's see. Lisa said, curious. You do 300 trades per year. How many of those are day versus swing? No, Lisa, I'm just talking about one style of trading. My day trades, you know, I did 4 or 5 day trades today. All right, so that's just on one very specific style of trading. So yeah, Rick, you know, I record them every week. I just don't get the time to put them to post them. Yeah, that's the only reason. Rick's asking about the recording of Power Hour. I just don't get the time to put them up there. I need to start hiring some people or getting some help because I just don't have the time to get it all done. Okay. Can't use Options Express anymore, and Schwab is horrible for an active trader. They don't have demo trading. Exactly, Demetrius. Tradiera is not a great platform. I'm fairly sure that Tastyworks does have practice trades on there, so maybe something to check out. Use the link that I put up there to get to it. Let's see. Would love what, Rick? Sorry. There might be an ETF for Bitcoin. I am not sure yet, Avery, but there is a future coming out supposedly by the end of this year. All right, let's see. I appreciate that, Rick. Yeah, the power hour. Yeah, I know. I'm trying. I'm trying to get it done. Wait, Rick, I'm sorry. I'm missing two different things. You said I would love this one. I said I don't know what that was, and he said the power hour videos. You mean to have them on the website? I want to make sure I'm answering your question properly. Oh, okay. Okay. No, not TradeStation, Lisa. Trade Navigator is going to start having cryptocurrencies. They're in test mode right now, which is why I'm going to be calling them today. Yeah, so Robert, I knew Tradiera was a U.S.-based company. I was just wondering if they did Canadian companies. For some reason, I thought they did Canadian company accounts. But I'll make that phone call and find that out. So hopefully I have some answers next week, guys, on Canadian for you. But guys, keep something in mind. So tonight we have about 240 candidates that I'm going to be giving you that are not just, hey, these are stocks that are tomorrow rather for monster market movers. It's not just these are stocks. These are stocks that work and that are working now, and here's the why. So monster market movers, guys, there's over 4 hours of recorded videos for it in there, right? Everything stays up on the website for 30 days for you. You have access to it. Pretty interesting, the concept that I put together. I don't do a lot of teaching in tonight's class, tomorrow night's class. I do some, but there's 4 hours of recorded education purposely for you, so I don't have to go through the basics of trading the market with Fibonacci's and moving averages and all of that, how to pick the options. There are videos just on that. Actually, if we go here, Monster Market Movers, right? So you'll see it once you're subscribed to be on your page. So there's 12 videos on Monster Market Movers, right? So it's a welcome video. It is a using Monster Market Movers to your advantage, economic events, reviewing the market, options selection, trading with fibs, trading with pivots, other technicals, pattern of the month, trading line and candle patterns, trading watch lists and the addendum list, and then jump starting the process. And then at the bottom is everything that's included with the class, right? So there is the Monster Market Movers live video. There's a Fibonacci candidates video, the workshop manual, the addendum manual. I mean, guys, goodness gracious. This is killer. I mean, the addendum manual, here, I'll open this one up. Now, this is from last month. I don't have it up yet for this month because that wouldn't come until we taught the class. But you can see this is from October 19th, the last one that we did. So these were current Fibonacci patterns that we're setting up. These were Fibonacci zero-line breakout patterns in here, Fib channels, Fibonacci 4 steps, right? Trending up near support, trending down near resistance, channeling at support and resistance. Doji patterns, 3 outside ups and down, moving average crosses, right? I mean, guys, all of this that's just the addendum. Those are ones that I will do tomorrow night before class starts, and those are ones you should be looking at on Wednesday morning to trade, right? So there's a lot of value inside of there. Go and check out the website and take a look at it. Okay, Robert. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I'll see what I can do, Rick, about getting the power hour for today up there. It won't be today because I'm teaching tonight, but I will work on getting that done. So guys, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you don't know where to get it, the YouTube channel, just go to the home page. At the very bottom of the page, you will see the YouTube icons, and it's all over the website, but the home page is the easiest to do it. Just go ahead and click on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe here, right? And you can see there's a ton of videos up there already, right? There's a couple of power hours up there. The Trade Along Tuesdays are up there. And where you will find this then is this Wealth Builders HQ TV icon. When I do post them, that's the section on our website that they will be at, and it will take you over to the YouTube. There we go. So you can see the last power hour. It's been a while, 10-2, the last one that I posted there. Okay, you got it, Rick. No worries. No worries at all. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. So do not hesitate. Do not delay. Do not think about it. When we're done, take the link that I put in the questions box, in the chat box, rather, and go ahead and click on that, guys. Go over to Wealth Builders HQ. Go over to Monster Market Movers under the store, and which is an online class, and go ahead and get yourself subscribed to it. And, well, let me show you. I don't want you to make a mistake, so let me show you this. There's 2 Monster Market Movers in there, guys. Make sure you click the right one, right? Online workshops. The one that's on the top is what's coming up now for November 14th. The one on the bottom, it says on demand, right? So be careful. That one is just that. It's an on-demand workshop. And that would be the recording from last month, not the one I want you to subscribe to. It would be up here, all right? Very cool. Yep, Rick, I will see you tonight and tomorrow. Yep, at both. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening. God bless. Great day. And I will see all of you tonight at E-Minis, tomorrow at Monster Market Movers. Take care, folks. See y'all soon. Bye. See you later, Steele. Bye now.